What's good, y'all? Blacksmith here, and today we're here to talk about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This is the fourth movie of the Planet of the Apes series reboot, but it feels like it's a part of something fresh and new. It seems like some people forgot that this was actually part of a series where you had the movies Dawn of, Rise of, and War for the Planet of the Apes. So, did this movie live up to the same hype as the previous three? Let's talk about it. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is a standalone sequel to War for the Planet of the Apes and follows a whole new cast of characters in the world that has been completely taken over by the apes. Taking place a few hundred years after the previous movie, there's no more Caesar, none of the other characters from the previous movies are here, and the world has been completely taken over by apes. Seemingly, all of the humans that are left have become feral because of the virus from the previous movies. And the whole world is pretty much looking just like this, all covered in greenery. It doesn't even matter where you are in the world or where this movie took place. It's all ran by the apes and it all looks the same. In this story, we follow a young ape named Noah and a human female that's with him named May as they travel to rescue Noah's clan from being kidnapped. I'm not going to give away too much of the story other than that, but trust me, there's a lot more to it. So, let's get into these pros and cons. The first pro off top, the design and effects. This movie was so visually appealing and so damn good that it actually made me believe that I was looking at the real world as if it was taken over by apes. They put a lot of attention to detail when it came to this movie. The second pro is the voice acting. I'm not gonna lie, while watching this movie, I didn't really think too much about the voice acting until we got closer to the end. And the event that happens at the end put the voice actors of these apes into high gear. At one point, you could close your eyes while watching this movie and you would just think that you would be hearing a few humans talking. That's how smart all of the apes have become in this movie. They're speaking complete sentences. You wouldn't even think that they were apes. Well, some of them are speaking complete sentences, but you get the point. The next pro, gotta talk about the action. This movie does have action, and the action scenes are great, but there's not as much action as the previous movies, and I think there's a reason for that. And I guess this would bring me into my last pro as well, which is the story. I believe they're using this movie to set up a new trilogy where all the apes have taken over the world. This movie didn't seem to have a lot of action scenes because I think they spent a majority of the runtime establishing that they are making a new trilogy. And I say all this because they spent a lot of the runtime focusing on character development. But maybe I'm just speculating and we're really not getting a new trilogy. Maybe we'll get one more movie after this. Who knows? That's just my opinion. Now, let's move to these cons. Now, I can't really name a lot of cons in this movie, but I do have one big one. Like I said previously, the story spent a majority of its 2.5-hour runtime establishing character development and this new story here. That's as much of a pro as it is a con because a lot of people don't really remember what happened in the previous movies, and War for the Planet of the Apes came out in 2017, 7 years ago. They didn't really spend a lot of time talking about the events that happened in the previous movies, and seeing as the last one did come out 7 years ago, it would have been nice to catch the audience up a little bit. I say that because I don't blame people for forgetting. The last movie came out almost a decade ago. So it is good that they were taking time to establish new characters and a new story, but catching the people up on what actually happened to the humans and why some humans act a certain way and some don't would have been helpful. But when it comes to the writing, the production, the acting, this movie is fantastic. Go see it. And go watch the previous movies if you haven't already. This series is actually pretty good. And that's all I got. Thanks for checking out my review. Let me know if you plan on seeing this movie. Let me know if you've already seen it and what you thought about it. Let me know what you thought about this review and give your boy a follow. I really appreciate it. And until next time, peace.